listening to Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together with your host, Gina Pagnata Murphy and Ebony Walton.
Well, hello.
Hello, welcome.
Top of the day to you, and I mean top of the day up here in the studio. Top of the day. Whole flights of stairs.
You go up every week.
I know. You think I'd be used to it by now. Whew, had to take a little breath. So I said, hold on. She said, you ready? I said, hold on a minute. Listen here. I'm so hot up here in these spotlights. Now I know what they mean by all of this sweating. These folks be hot. I had to take my little shirt off. I had a little camisole. So you guys excuse my arms, and I'm not trying to be sexy. I'm just trying to be cool with all this flab. So, big girls get hot. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, welcome. Today is May 23rd, and you are online with Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together. Is what? Oh, my God. Producer.
I did it last night.
Producers.
I did it last night.
Listen, I'm telling y'all, we need help. Spencer Crawl. You need to be editing this. Anyway, can you mind putting the teleprompter back up? We're going to get rid of this. I like that. I like the cardboard prompter.
No, because you talked about that today. So okay.
I still, today, what is today?
Oh.
Today is May. If you flip that one more time. Now I know what these people feel like when they be on those award shows and the teleprompter. They be trying to read like this. Welcome. Today is May 24th, and you are online with Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together. And today is Truthful Tuesday. I'm your host, Gina Pagnata, president of Pace.
And I am Ebony Walton, your co-host, vice president of Pace. And this show is for City of Atlanta employees, whether new or seasoned, classified or none, on-site or teleworkers. This platform was created to bring awareness to all things in the city, whether good or bad, in hopes to finding a resolve.
Let's talk about it. So, Ebony, we're going to talk about it. We got to give a disclaimer again. As you see in the first part of our podcast, we always show a disclaimer, and I'm verbally giving another disclaimer that the views and opinions of this podcast are only the views and opinion of what we say as individuals, not on the behalf of our national, international union or the city of Atlanta. This is our views. We'll say allegedly or we'll say factually.
There you go.
So, and I'm going to tell what I got to say. So how was your week?
It was nice.
So you went on vacation.
I did. I actually left. I always take vacations, but I never go anywhere.
I don't know.
This time I actually left.
Where'd you go?
Mexico. Too late now. You didn't.
I'm breathing. Oh my God!
It's too late now. You got it.
Did you have it?
Yes.
Oh,
it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable, and they use a real thin one too, the Q-tip to go all the way up.
Oh wow!
And we had to take it on the way back.
Oh wow! And then you had to wait. It was like the quick responding rapid, or you had to wait
came back within seconds.
Really?
Seconds.
Oh wow! So why do we have to?
I don't know.
2 hours and
seconds. It was back.
So that's what I've always said in the beginning of the pandemic. Remember that we should be able to be tested. If we're not going to wear masks and all that. And that's something.
In seconds. Mm-hmm.
Why are we supposed to be the leading city of Atlanta, but we ain't leading?
Mm-hmm. But it was nice. The scenery. It was Mexico, Cancun, Mexico, and the scenery was unbelievable.
Well, I saw some of your pictures. But I thought you wasn't going to put it on Facebook.
I just put pictures of myself on Facebook.
Oh, well, it was nice. It was pretty. She been on me too long.
I put pictures on Facebook of me.
Yeah, duh. Yeah. Modeling.
There you go.
That was cool.
The picture. I mean, you didn't even have to. All you had to do was just be in the picture. It was just nice.
Yeah, I saw it. I love the water and the beach.
Oh, it was so nice.
I thank you for my gift.
It was so nice. Yes, I brought her back a gift.
But is this all you could think about me?
Well, you don't drink, so I couldn't bring you no alcohol. I brought everybody else alcohol. Some tequila. Oh. The drinks there, I literally drank all day long. Well, from 11:45 though, I ate breakfast first. Then 11:45 until I laid down.
You was drinking? You was drunk?
No, I wasn't drunk. I didn't get drunk. I had a couple of shots, but.
Did you sit in the water on the beach, in that little thing, and they brought you the little umbrella drink?
No.
Oh, that's just on TV?
I didn't do that. They had a pool where you swim up to the bar and you can get your drinks.
But what if you can't swim?
At your room. I didn't, so I sat in my jacuzzi tub in the room.
Oh, that's pitiful.
And it was outside though. All of it was outside.
Oh, that sounds like a nice trip.
It was so
I'm scared
nice.
of Cancun. I'm scared of flying, so I don't know how I can.
And I have been all that time, and I've been flying for the past 2 years. I flew for my 2017, my grandmother. I went to go visit with her, and then I flew again last year. So it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Well, I have to fly to Vegas.
Yeah,
we got to go to Vegas.
That's right. So it's not so bad.
You're still going, right?
Yeah, I'm going.
We got to go to Vegas for the convention.
But it was nice.
So you be around me holding my hand? It was nice. My sister's going to now. Bless her heart. She's going to come down, and then she's going to
come on.
Fly with me.
Yeah, It was nice. I read my book again.
What should talk about, Ted? But
I read, and it's been so long since I.
Oh wow!
Beautiful music.
Y'all know she's.
It's been a long time since it's on Amazon, so go get. It's a good read. It's very small. It's not even 100 pages, but it's been a long time since I've written it. So I was married when I wrote the book. My ex-husband, we both kind of wrote it together. So as I'm rereading the book, I was getting mad all over again in the book from the stuff that's going on in the book. Like I forgot about it.
Well, I'm mad at you.
I can't finish the second.
I'm mad at you because I read the book.
I know.
It's excellent, excellent writing.
It was.
And I got so intense with it, and you ended it, and I'm like, "Where's part 2?"
I know. It was so good. You
got. So do you need to? When you going to write part 2?
I don't know. I'm.
Show it to him again. Or put it in
part 2.
Put it in the chat book. You all go out and get it and read it. It's a real. I'm surprised. It is a really good book. Well. Ebony says it's a true story, but either or whether it's
I didn't say it was a true story. I said
it captivated my attention.
Some of the events in the book, for those that may have known me back in those days, can attest that maybe there are some facts.
It's some true story.
Stuff,
Get the book and read it, and then let's encourage her to write part 2 to this book. Okay? So what's your movie?
The movie of the week. As I was flying down to Mexico, I watched Spider-Man: No Way Home, and it was really good.
I saw that.
Did you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it. Old. I don't like the new the new actor for Spider-Man. I'm not fond of him. I like the old guy.
Well, it's like I like the old Batman.
I like the old Peter Parker.
Yeah, I like the old Batman, but Batman's gotten dark. Y'all, have y'all
I can't watch that latest one. It's too much.
That made it look like all these years I've been thinking Batman was the hero, which he's kind of like, sort of like, but they make him like a villain too. And I didn't like it. It was really dark.
I didn't like it either.
But Marvel's getting there. I can't wait to watch Doctor Strange, though.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange was in this with Spider-Man No Way Home because he had to help him and he was doing all the crazy stuff. But in the end, Spider-Man just wanted to, he just wanted to change everybody's perception and make people better.
Let me tell you something that's kind of cute. Now, if you all have grandkids or children, about 3 or 4, you can understand if you don't, but it's funny to me. What? But one of them, my 3 grandchildren, I got 6 grandkids, but one of them is 3, the other one is 4, right? Mm-hmm. One likes Spider-Man, and one likes the Jurassic World, the comment that come on the dinosaurs. And the 4-year-old is crazy about Spider-Man. Literally crazy. Mm-hmm. So I scolded him one night, okay, for, not telling me he had to go to the bathroom. So I thought it was over. And then I thought, I didn't spank him. I just, got on him about it. And so he went in there with Pop, Grandpa. Mm-hmm. So I'm steady laying on my bed watching TV. All of a sudden, I see him peeping around my corner. I said, "What you want?" He said, I said, "What is that?" "Spider webbing you." I said, "You little rascal." He mad at me because can't wear me up. That little boy, the minds of 4-year-olds,
That's how they do.
But what's our inspiration?
Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whatsoever thou goest.
You need to read that again because you were stumbling.
Be strong and of good courage.
Okay.
Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
Okay. I thought it was neither.
I got that straight from the Bible.
It says neither, but the Bible didn't tell it to you. You said neither.
I got
neither.
Neither. You know what I'm trying to say. Tomato. Yep. Target.
Oh yeah. Well, Walmart.
Just what side of the face you're on today.
Okay. Well, I'm on my white.
Okay. So neither.
No, this is my white side.
So what is it? Neither. Neither.
It's neither. Okay. Here.
Neither.
Is neither. Here is neither.
I'm done. I'm done. Now, I couldn't figure out a song, so I asked your other radio producer person to find the song.
Okay, and what did he come up with?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let the song play.
Okay, all right. It's going to be a surprise. See, it better be a good one.
I didn't pick it out.
Okay, let's hear it. We don't own the rights to this music, but it's the song of the week. Well, must not meant to play it. I already know what that is. This Yolanda Adams?
Is it?
Set it up. Uh-oh.
This is Yolanda Adams?
Oh, man. Let's start off like I got the victory. Destiny's Child.
Survivor. That's amazing. I really like them as a group.
It's still songs.
They what?
Still songs.
Everybody relates.
We don't own the rights to this song, so we got to cut off before we get sued. Because hashtag like somebody on the Palada say, I ain't got no money.
So,
we ain't got no money.
No money at all.
But listen, real quick before we go into something else. But the reason I said that, allegedly, in my opinion,
what?
They still songs.
Everybody
their intro to that song. Think about it. When you play Victory,
I don't really know that one
by Yolanda Adams. That sounds like the intro to her song. Then the one about what's the song when she kept elevating up higher on that Beyonce song. If you all in the chat room know what I'm talking about, tapping in. That was she had the moves and sounds like New Edition, one of New Edition songs. Then the other song that she has that the intro
everybody
comes in,
uses certain
that was the old Temptations introduction.
Old music.
But she don't ask for permission.
How you know that? How you know?
Because I be reading the blogs.
Get off the blogs.
Okay.
And the marriage.
But thank you, producer. What marriage? I be watching put a ring on it.
Exactly.
I love it. I was binge watching it.
I don't know what it is about this put a ring on it.
Because I need to look at putting the ring on mine or putting the ring off. Because I already got a ring on and I'm trying to put a ring off. That's what I need to do, a show called Take the Ring Off.
I'm done.
Anyway.
We're going to have a moment of silence for those that have lost anyone. Do you know if anyone that have...
Not since, thank God.
That's good.
Not since last week.
That's
thank goodness. No, I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about some people that's transitioning, passing, but not that I know, but
well,
goodness. But we'll still do a moment of silence for all those who've lost someone that are listening to this podcast recently. So bow your head.
Still keep those other ones in prayer. That the last week the guy came in and shot up the place.
Oh God.
Those two. So
yeah, bow your heads for a moment of silence. Okay.
Again, we want to congratulate all the 2022 graduates. They still going on all the way up until what? June? Are they done in May?
I'm glad I don't have nobody go watch graduate. It's a bittersweet because you got to sit up there all day, especially if you got a long class.
And if they have a last
and
name
your
is
last
a
name
W.
is a W. Which, a POM, and you got to sit there and just
through everybody
for 4 hours.
Through everybody. So again, those that graduate, I spelled that wrong.
You can't spell
anyway.
All right. So shout outs back to the HR Law Department, who's working well with PACE to this day, and all the departments that's working well still continuously. And we will be sharing with that later on in our podcast, what's going on and what we're doing, and got a little short story to share. Okay.
So now,
get ready for the person that picked that song that I thought was Yolanda Adams.
And it was not.
But get ready. It's time to hear some words of wisdom as he shared his tidbits on Women's Month. And we're going to change that, not Women's History, but we can say Women's History Year. Because we're going to be talking about these diabolical women, because he's the most motivational, articulate, and diabolical himself, the amazing Spencer Crawford. Happy baby.
What's happening, people? How's everybody doing out there?
We're doing good.
How are you?
What's up?
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. I don't know what in the world is really going on, but check this out, y'all. Ebony, I'm so glad to see you back. You're doing your thing. It sounds like, now what it sounds like to me, you didn't want to come back. Sound like to me you was having a good old time, and I mean, you was making that thing happen. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, listen, it's so good to see y'all. Listen, y'all, we're going to continue this thing, this whole Women's Year. And today we're going to talk about Toni Morrison. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Toni Morrison, but Toni Morrison was born February 18th, 1931. And she's an American novelist, editor, and professor. Her novels are known for their epic themes, vivid dialogue, and richly detailed characters. Now, in 1993, Morrison was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in Literature. On May 29, 2012, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Hey, y'all, we want to give it up for Toni Morrison. Let's give it up for Toni Morrison. Hey, listen, y'all tasked me with something this week. And we're going to start with this word of the week. Okay?
Word of the week.
Word of the week. Now, today's word is aesthetic. Okay? Aesthetic. All right? Now, I mean, as far as the definition, concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty, a set of principles underlying and guideline and guiding the work of a particular artist or artistic movement. So just to use it in a sentence, we got to make sure we do this thing and use it in a sentence.
You clicked off.
He aesthetically clicked off.
He clicked off.
That was an aesthetic situation.
The whole thing clicked off. Are we back?
Are we back? Yeah, we back. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Check it out. We're going to use this thing in a sentence. We're going to use it, as far as City of Atlanta is concerned, okay? All right. Street operations repaired the street and its sound. However, aesthetically, it don't look too good. The whole posse go out there and do their thing, but they don't make perfect squares and everything. Aesthetically,
you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Hey, listen, we just go do our thing today. But I mean, as far as aesthetic is concerned, we're talking about, things of beauty, things that, look nice, the aesthetics of it, how it looks. That's what the aesthetics is.
I got a sentence. Go ahead.
Okay.
Ebony has great aesthetics. But
definitely.
Aesthetically, don't utilize them.
Oh my.
Oh
my. What?
Oh my.
What?
Well.
And I need some aesthetics on his arm. How about that?
Well, see, listen, I don't know about the wording proclivities that you all are using. However, aesthetically, Aesthetically, we gonna make things happen. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, listen,
Gotcha.
y'all, we got another graduation thing I wanna put out there. You know, we wanna give it up for it's a Pace member's
Oh,
son,
okay.
Eloise McCoy. Is
Yes.
that how you pronounce the name? Eloise
Yes.
McCoy's
That's her
son,
name. That's the month. Yes.
Walter Sharper Jr. KIPP Atlanta Collegiate High School
Oh, wow.
graduated. Hey y'all, we want to make sure we give it up. Hey, listen, y'all always make it happen. Hey, listen, continue to do your thing. We always know that we go climb higher. The only way to the next level is uphill, and we already know that. If somebody ever tell you that the sky's the limit, run, please run, because they not reaching high enough. Hey, listen, thank you so much for your time this time. And until the next time, I hope it's better than the last. And as my dad would always say, you're never out of business when you mind your own. This is your boy Croft with Radio Connection with Pace, where it all comes together. Well, holla at y'all.
Have a good one,
Peace.
Spence. Have a
Thank
good one.
you. Aesthetically. Aesthetics.
Aesthetics.
Okay, so that's the word of the week.
Aesthetics. Yep.
Chime in if you all out there. Send in a sentence to use the correct way of using it, the word aesthetics. You might get a gift.
Might.
You might.
Did you know?
Okay, here we go.
Did you know that there was an art collector who paid $10,000 one time for a non-visible sculpture created by actor James Franco? The artwork was billed as an endless tank of oxygen. Yep, it's called air. What you're breathing now. Somebody paid $10,000.
That's aesthetically empathetic, pitifully. What kind of mess is that? Now that's aesthetics, right there. That ain't no beauty to that.
Yes.
That's pitiful. Pathetically.
Yes. People will pay for anything.
For air.
Air.
I bet you can't hold your breath long. Didn't make it. Anyway, no, you retired up there. Go do pass out on me. Anyway,
today is what?
Brothers' Day. On May 24th, honors the brothers in our lives. Whether we have one or many, they hold a special place in our hearts. So if you have a brother, please acknowledge your brother and say hello, send a text or anything.
You know I have a brother.
So why did you
He's my son age, 21.
Okay. And
I'm just saying.
Why don't you text him and say, hey, brother, just checking on you. Oh.
On May 24th, today, is also Aviation Maintenance Technician Day. It honors the men and women who have worked behind the scenes, making and keeping aviation possible.
Hey, kudos to you out there.
So, thank
Aircraft out there, all of our aviation employees, if it's the city of Atlanta and all the folks that work for Hartsville, kudos to you. Okay.
Now, today also is National Escargot Day. It honors the famous French dish of cooked land snails. I don't eat those. I've never had it. I don't want to try it.
So
oysters is enough for me. But
escargot is not the squid. I eat fried squid.
Yeah, I can do that. But I'm not touching snails.
Ew.
Cooked, fried, boiled, baked, boiled, nothing.
Mm-mm.
Nothing at all. No, thank you. Also, today is National Scavenger Hunt Day.
I like that. Hunt? Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so fun.
It is.
I was trying to get the city of Atlanta when I worked for the Department of Public Works to do it one time. You know, when we used to back in the day when we had some leaders. We used to have team building once a year, and I was in charge of finding out the teams. You know what we're going to do.
You just had to be in charge. Huh?
I had to be in charge because they know they like me.
Not just because you just have to be in charge.
I'm gonna take charge. You got a weak leader. Leaders do that.
That's right.
So we got on this little go-kart and it was out there. I can't remember where it was, but you go around and they give you a map. It's 4 people in the cart. One person is the leader, the driver. One person is the person that look at the map. the navigator, one person is the decision maker, and then one person is just riding for free. He's supposed to be the one that he or she get out and go get the stuff. But anyway, supposed to work as a team. That is so fun.
It is fun. I went
expensive
on my son's birthday, one of his birthdays, I think it was his 17th birthday, downtown Atlanta. We all met, all my sisters and our children, we met downtown, and we went on a scavenger hunt, just found different things in the city, and we had a ball.
It's fun.
We had a ball.
Yeah, then you get a little trophy. We ought to look at doing that again. Yeah. Maybe Pace should have a scavenger hunt.
Should.
You know, it's kind of, you got to really put your thoughts into it and how to work it, and get some establishments to you know, if you don't do nothing but go take a picture out in front of a place, or do something
and
like
just
that,
post it.
And post
we
it.
We have a little, put it on our little Facebook page or our what do we have? Instagram? Nope. Twitter. And have them to post up the little pictures on wherever they go. Yeah, we should do that by the end of the year. We
go do something for the group and give a prize to the winners who comes in.
You have to take the pictures, the most pictures, so many places by a certain time, get something. Yeah, that'll be nice. Today is voting day, you guys. So make sure you go out and vote if you have not done so already. And you do know that the city allows employees up to 2 hours, no more than that, but 2 hours to vote. Time off to vote. Yeah.
Speaking of that, which makes me, for some reason, don't really remember why I'm thinking about it, but I'm supposed to have jury duty tomorrow. What happens if I don't go?
They're gonna lock you up.
They're gonna lock me up. I can't find the paper.
They gonna lock.
I just know where to go. I had it on my calendar.
The black side up.
The black side.
They gonna lock.
What made I go in like this? Because that's the white side.
They gonna slap to the other side and lock that up.
Lock it up. They won't lock up the white side.
Oh, they gonna lock both of them. They gonna lock.
I know what I'm going there crazy. Quack quack. I'm going there quack quack.
And they gonna take you to grade and put you on fifth floor. So it's up to you, whichever one you want to do. Again, remember that the city is still doing their midnight basketball every Wednesday at 3201 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive.
We ought to go up there one night. Oh, you have to work.
I do.
Just check it out. Yeah. Who's playing?
I don't know.
Just to know to go there at midnight. Yeah. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. Something different.
They giving free haircuts, and they're there until 7 doing the midnight basketball or the haircuts. But did you hear about the eateries on the street trucks, the food trucks that they're doing? So this week looks like it's going to be this week.
They're doing free food.
No, it's not free food.
Well, they don't care.
It's not free food, but it started yesterday.
Okay.
And they have, today is the 24th. So they have one over at Negril.
ATL.
Oh, it's all of it. And then an exotic splash, the 27th of May.
Oh, okay.
So they having it all this week. Look like the 24th, 25th, and 27th from the hours of 11 to 3. And it'll be on Trinity Street in front of City Hall.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested,
they're out there today.
Yep, they're out there 11 to 3. Also, it's Mental Health Month. So
that must be why the doctor automatically sent me my prescription for my pills.
Really? Without you having to ask for them, they just sent them to you. And you just gonna keep rocking, huh?
Yes, calm me down.
Okay. Now, it was sad. I know in the news, Cobb County had 3 deaths since in this month at their behavior. I think it's the detention center where they housing the inmates, but they are mental patients.
Oh no!
And they allegedly, was supposed to be on suicide watch, and they came in and found them deceased. So mental health is nothing to play with at all. It's nothing to play with. But check your emails. They have information on mental health. You want to say something? You want to say something?
No, because
bring them in. You want to say something?
Yeah. Listen up. You know, that whole mental health thing. I don't know if y'all saw the news. Ebony, I don't know if you were here when the guy got killed at Fogo, the child.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, I mean, it's a whole different topic for a whole different day. However, the mother was saying that he had a mental issue, that she had called some police or whatever to let him know that he had a mental issue. However, he was in Fogo with the child and he pulled a gun and shot at somebody, and then the police shot him. But she was like, they shouldn't have shot him, or he was having a mental, and and I sometimes I feel for the police sometimes because they
Yeah.
go through a lot. They have
Yes,
to deal with a lot. I mean, because that's a split second decision
it
that
is.
you have to make. And Lord knows, pray for the family,
On both sides.
and he was I don't know if he was a former employee or he worked there or
I think he
something.
worked at Focal the Child.
Yeah, he worked there,
Used
but
to or
he was
something.
having an episode, but
Mm-hmm.
he still had a firearm on
Yep.
him.
And they said he shot the security.
Security guard, yes,
Well,
he
they had
did.
So they had to
something.
do. I mean, what do you expect police to respond
And
outside
and
when
see
they don't respond?
that's the thing. That's a discussion people have to have because mothers, parents are going to say, you didn't have to kill my child. Lord
Yep.
have mercy. I couldn't imagine it.
Mm-mm.
And they
It's not
saying that
police fault. That goes beyond police. It goes beyond the city. That's a state legislations and all of that kind of stuff. I would think because these are the ones that are allowing these hospitals to let them be released before they should be released. You can't make these people take their meds because I have a lot of people in my family or in my circle that deals with mental health, and to try to convince a person that you need medication because your mind is bad, that's like trying to talk to an ant. It's not going to happen. When they're in their lucid moments, you can have those talks. But again, that's far and in between. When I just lost my like a brother to me back in January, in December he was talking off the wall, and he does that often. We didn't think anything, but in January he was tired. He was 50, 60 something years old. And he said he had been dealing with this since he was 18. Voices and voices, and I mean, he never knew when he was lucid. He never knew whose voices he's listening to, and that's torment. That's torment. I mean, it's sad. It's very sad, but it's to try to get them the help that they need is hard.
I got you.
It's
I
very
think we need
hard.
to change some rules though, because I know some people that have children that's adults now that were under the care of their parents through Social Security, getting aid and benefits and health care. And then once they reach 18, they're on their own. You can no longer make
Yep.
decisions for them, and then
Yep.
they're cut off just like that. I think the laws need to change where if they do have a history of having mental health issues to the point where you're their guardian, you should be able to continue to be their guardian up until they can prove that that person is of sound mind. But the laws need to change on this to get these help for these people. Because if you're mentally ill, in my opinion, how you know you're going to need help? I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, some of us can know I'm not feeling right. I'm depressed. I mean, having anxiety. You go and get some treatment, but you haven't reached that line where you don't know reality
Yep.
anymore. And so you're just surviving and just doing what you think is correct, and it may not be
It's
correct.
and you don't know that.
And you don't know that.
It's right.
Right.
It's
So
your mind.
it's a lot.
I guess, and I guess it don't help that Kemp done made it where you don't need no license or nothing to carry.
Exactly.
So it's the
Because-
wild, wild west out here.
That's why we need to go and vote.
Mental health people are not supposed to even have weapons. But my guy that was like a brother to me, he
Yeah.
ordered offline. He had several. He ain't supposed to have none. He was on medication.
See?
Wow.
See? So we need to vote. You all go out there and vote and vote
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
to make some of these people that's going to change these laws for us to have a greater society.
Yeah.
Without having to worry about stuff like we ain't never had to worry about stuff like this. Now they making things so lucid where you just get anything. What's that word he said? That's y'all word of the day. I just found a sentence for it. Say it again.
But I don't know if that's gonna be aesthetically sound.
Aesthetically, sound of mind. But anyway, the
My
aesthetics
God.
of it all. There we go.
Listen, y'all doing your thing. Keep up the
Anytime.
good work.
I mean, anytime.
And for everybody that's out there, please make sure you be careful out here on this Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people out here because we just need a reason to put something on the grill. That's it.
And listen, we're gonna grill by ourselves, but listen. Wear your mask, please, people.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
going out into Memorial Day to have a good time, whether you've been vaccinated or not, whether you had 20 boosters or not. This stuff is still out there.
Yep.
They ain't got nothing for the monkeypox yet.
I was just gonna say it. None got monkeypox.
So please, just be cautious for you coming back. Wear your mask. Please wear your mask. Okay? If you can social distance, still use those practices. Still wash your hands. This stuff is not over. It's just gotten quiet for a minute. But it's not over. And as we see in the news, that even if you've been vaccinated with boosters, you can get it. And then now they're coming up with something like aesthetically putting it. You aesthetically will not have strong symptoms if you've been vaccinated. That's
Right,
the reason.
right. Hey, listen, y'all do your thing. Y'all do your thing. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
All right, Spence. So now to the meat of our show today.
All right.
We got to, okay, go ahead. In the news, I see something.
Yeah. So I was looking, Bank of America giving their lowest paid employees a bump in wages to $22 an hour. That's now they're making like $46,000 a year.
We need to do that with City of Atlanta.
Wow.
The city, let me say this. The City of Atlanta is doing or have done the best they could do for what they, whoever's leading. But these employees, if you're making $15 an hour, you cannot survive in this day and time
unless you got
alone,
3 roommates
and you with a family of children. You cannot. And so Pace is fighting hard to move that $15. You remember now we just moved it from $12.11 to $15.
Yeah.
Now we want to move it from I think
at least 20s.
Yeah, but another organization, I ain't calling them names, was hollering about $18 an hour. I think they need to bump it up to at least about $20 an hour. Should be
starting pay.
And bring the increments back. This salary range, y'all, it ain't what it's supposed to be. That salary range is where you can negotiate your salary coming in, and you're in a position where you can negotiate. A labor of us cannot negotiate. What?
QT.
What now?
Got part-time clerks starting at $19.48.
I gotta get a part-time job.
Assistant managers yearly salary is $53,789.
Y'all go on out there, just repeat it again. QT, that means quick trip. They're all over the place. Go ahead now.
Their part-time clerks are making $19.48 an hour.
Where is that popped up at? Somebody
you just sent it to me.
Oh, wow. Spence, wow.
Yep.
So, hey, we're doing a shout out to QT. Looking out, QT.
We have, let's see. Yes, mental illness is so detrimental for everyone. More has to be done, and mental illness has no color. It does not.
Country singer, yes, Naima Judd. Yeah. Oh, that was a shocker.
Oh.
When she committed suicide, that was a shocker to me. I almost cried like I did when Diana got killed. Princess Diana. I don't know Naomi, but I do have anxiety issues. You know that.
Yeah.
I have anxiety. I think I told my doctor, I told him, I think I'm a hypochondriac. You say your left arm hurting, my arm gonna start hurting. And the anxiety of it all. But that mental illness is not. And people, we need to really do a show on that. Maybe have someone come on and talk about mental illness.
EAP again this time. We can have EAP again because they just put out something this week too in your emails. Check that.
Okay, we can have them come out and talk about mental illness. But let me make this clear about mental illness. It's nothing that we should be ashamed of when you're depressed or have anxiety or you just, can't cope with something, can't cope with life that you feel. Because it's no better than if you have a heart issue, diabetes, you broke your leg.
It's an imbalance somewhere.
It's somewhere, and to where I understood, when you have depression, it's a chemical imbalance in the neutrons versus whatever those are extrons in your brain. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a physical issue. And anxiety and all of that falls under mental. You can't control it. Sometimes it's hereditary. Sometimes trauma brings it on, like PTSD. If you've been in the military, we got a lot of those folks that's PTSD. You got a lot of homeless people that's homeless because they're mentally ill. Some of them desire to be out there, I understand, but I don't think the majority of percentage of those my opinion, of those homeless people are out there because they want to be. There's so it is a serious situation. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. But every time I get change or I have dollar bills free, I fold them up, put them in my little thing. If I pull up and see someone asking for money, I give them $1. I'll give them some change. What I can do to help, because you don't know who's real, and it's not my decision to determine you're telling the truth or lie. It's my God-given spirit that if I got a little bit, I want to share. I'm going to share. So that's just what Gina does. I just put my spare change. Food. Well, one time I gave him some food. They threw that apple back at me.
I was going to say, then they be saying, "Is this all you can give me?" And so I don't want cheese right.
I keep going. But I'm going to tell you why I started that. And we're going to move on. But I'm going to tell you why I started that, because I was at I went to bingo one time on my way to bingo. This is some years ago.
Now she's coming out.
I went to bingo maybe about 10 years before my mother passed, We went to stop to get gas because I was driving up to bingo. And this little guy come up, looked real homeless, whatever. We didn't see him nowhere. He said, "Ma'am, do you have any money? I need to get some gas." And I said, and I normally don't give out no money like that. No stranger walking up to me asking me for no money. But I said, "Hold on a minute." Went in there and I reached in my purse and I pulled out a $20 bill. And I said, "Here you go, sir." And I turned around. He had tears in his eyes. He said, "I've been out here all day. And you're the only one that offered me $20 for gas." I said, "No problem. Take it." I said, "Matter of fact, here, take 20 more so you can get you something to eat." So I gave him $40. And he had tears in his eyes. Do you all know that when I went into the store, I still didn't click. When I went into the store and I said, "Yeah, there's a gentleman out there trying to get some gas." And he said, "What gentleman?" I said, "It was a guy right here that I gave $20, $40 to."
One of those happened before.
And he said, "Ain't nobody out there." My mama said that was an angel.
Just to see what you.
My mom said that was an angel. I said, "What?" She said, "I didn't want no car around here." I said, "An angel." Guess what? That night, bingo, won $5,000.
I don't know if I'm gonna agree with that, but okay.
That's my story.
But they do have some. You never know when you are amongst an angel or an angelic spirit or being. You just never know.
We got too many heavy paid employees. You right? What is it? Thanks for the tip. Head and quick trip. I like that. Thanks for the tip. Head and quick trip. Thanks for the tip. Head and quick trip. Okay. But we're gonna be working on that.
Yeah. We definitely gonna give you some time before we discuss the mental health this time. We'll probably try to do it in July before
we'll let y'all know
out.
So you all can be on board.
Yeah, because we want to have some EAP specialists on, and whoever else we can have, and people that are actually dealing with those things, whether they work for the city or not, because it's serious. It is very, very serious. I remember the last class, and then I'm done. The last class I had that I told you, it just gave me because I have an uncle that's schizophrenic, and he's been incarcerated all our life. But in his mind, he's going to get out and he's going to have $1 billion. He's going to take care of everybody. But that's in his mind. So, and now he's so medicated, but he'll get out and get a car, drive and everything. And they have to find him and get him back. But when you just, the whole, I don't even remember the whole ordeal about it is it's just a lot. It's just a lot. But in that class, the lady came up to me, and I mentioned to you before, she had two people stand on the side of you. One person she had talking to you, act like it was an old friend, and you just talking to him. And then she had somebody come up behind you and just start whispering in your ear. Don't move. They just whispered in your ear. And you trying to have this conversation with this longtime friend while you got somebody else whispering in your ear, just whispering anything, just whatever. And she said, that's kind of how it is for a person that hears things. And they don't know what voice is what. And then you had another person come up on this side, and you just don't know all day long. I couldn't even imagine being trapped like that in your mind. You know what I'm saying? In your mind. I pray every day, all day, keep my mind focused, because when you're gone, you don't know it.
You don't know it.
You don't know.
And I want to do a personal shout out to Ebony.
Oh my God.
And Michelle Chapman. And, that I know I call, and Shauna Hicks in Boston, but a lot of you don't know, and I'm not ashamed to say it, that I suffer with PTSD. I don't say suffer now because I changed that word. I did at one time, but I kind of got it under control. But when pandemic hit, by me being in the military, when that word vaccine or when that word COVID or pandemic, it put me in a deep depression. And I started going through having anxiety attacks and didn't understand what was going on. And then I was crying to Ebony every night. Y'all see me on the podcast. I be, but I go home, I be so deep. That's why I'm telling you, you don't know what people go through. You don't. I be looking so cheerful here on this podcast. And I'm telling you my truth. But when I leave this podcast, so I can go and fight for you in that meetings when you need representation, and I'm on the money. But when I go behind my closed doors, sometimes I was crying like I couldn't stop, like the world was coming to the end. I had nobody to love me. I had nobody to want to hold me, to nurture me. I had nobody to vent to. And it came because I had a traumatic experience when I was in the military with the first swine flu vaccine. And then I got the shot, because in the military, you got to take what they give you. And it put me in the hospital for a week that I have a loss of memory other than some spotted things that I can recall. So when this thing happened, it put me in a tailspin. And I was going through therapy once every week. I had 3 programs I was going through. And they wind down. I completed 1 and I still got 2 to finish. But it is no joke. And I'm not ashamed to tell you because it's my truth. So just keep me in prayer. Like everyone. If I didn't have Ebony that was there to help keep me going. And then Michelle, I will call and here and there. And Shauna all times of night. She was going through some things. So find you a partner. Find you someone you can trust. Because, in my situation, in my position, I can't just call anybody and talk to them, and it's overwhelming with the job, sometimes with the union, sometimes with leaders that don't understand what I understand, the aesthetics of it all.
There you go. Now, that's the best way to do it.
It's made us.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
We all are human. And you got leaders that's good leaders. And that goes through a lot of stuff. We have leaders that's lost family members during the pandemic and still got to lead. But then you got the ones that may need to reevaluate their situation. So I'm saying all this to say to you people that just reach out. If you know someone in your family, take it serious and just be there for them. Don't try to tell them what they need to do because that's not the way to go.
Encourage them.
Encourage them and listen and tell them it's going to be okay. I'm here for you. Regardless if it's saying the same thing over and over. And you'd be surprised how that would help them. Say, I understand it. But don't say, well, you need to go do this.
And sometimes
you need to take your medicine. Or you need to.
Sometimes you got to do a little tough love, though.
Now, that's because you like to be tough.
Sometimes you got to pull them up and say, no, get up. We got to go. We're going outside. We're going here. We're doing this. Something. And that helps. Even though it's a struggle. But you have to know that person's limits. You got to know when you're pushing too hard too.
I couldn't get out of bed.
I remember, but she's come so long. She's come a long way.
I wanted the covers over my head. I didn't want to hear nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. And you'd be surprised. And then I'd be on the laptop doing my job and crying and, on the phone. How you doing it? Oh, I'm fine, and not fine. And, so you got to find that person that can help bring you out of that mode and get some mental help, some professional help when you know it. Okay. So
back to, because we didn't got all out.
Yeah, because we got to talk about this on a new show completely.
Yes, definitely.
And I'm crazy anyway. Yeah. I got papers.
Me too. I ain't got papers yet.
I'm gonna
get coming.
I'm gonna give us some.
They coming. To do our job, you got to be crazy for real.
Speaking of doing your job, 911, we had a great breakthrough.
Yes, we did, didn't we? We had
great breakthrough.
Huge breakthrough. Beyond what we could have ever thought.
Can you see this? Now, let me say this. Don't get jealous of the departments because our members, we coming for you to help you next because we got this kind of off our plate now. We're not finished, but we're almost there. But let me read this real quick. This is finally for coming from.
And before, let's do a backdrop of why this is there. Because APD policies and civilian policies were kind of overlapping or supposedly overlapping. And there was always a struggle. Every time we would go before any of the department heads to figure out, well, who do the 911 department, who do these employees, who do they fall under? The city muni code or APD? It was always this way. Nobody could ever give an answer. How many years was that?
About 6.
A lot of years. And every time we come out the meeting the same way. No answer. So finally, we got an answer.
We got an answer in writing. And it's to the director of E911 from the commissioner of HRDHR. And it copies everyone involved, even down to the division chief, deputy chief. And it's called E911 Sick Leave Practices. This was done and delivered to me on May 17th, 2022. And it says, based on a review of sick leave practices currently in use within the E911 Communications Division, it has been determined that these practices contradict with Section 114-416 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, Sick Leave, Department of Human Resources Citywide Attendance Policy, and the Atlanta Police Department's Timekeeping SOP, APD.SOP.2050. Accordingly, the E911 Communications Division is directed to immediately cease and desist any and all non-compliant administrative sick leave practices, and all E911 employees should be directed to comply with the Code of Ordinances, DHR's attendance policy, and the applicable APD SOP. And it has all the attachments of the rules of engagement of the policies. That is a huge win. Cease and desist. So this is a big win for PACE because PACE has been fighting for that for a long time. We commend the Commissioner Jeffrey Norman and his team and the law department to finally take this and grasp it, investigate all the complaints from that survey. That survey that we did, that PACE gave, that survey, and you are the blame positively, the reason this happened. PACE was just your voice. The members of that community spoke out, finally spoke out, told the truth, told their truth, and named names. And we were able to provide the correct documentation to support your evidence. See, PACE don't play. PACE don't play. When we come to the table, we ready for you. And so finally, we were heard for you. And it was immediately to cease and desist any further stuff being wrong and making up and creating your own rules. So what's left to do now is we're going to send a letter out to our members over there, letting them know, send them a copy of it. And we're waiting on them to start getting management and the supervisors to start getting the training that they need, and if the correct and proper training, get the process of what needs to be done, and that they are afforded a union representation like it should have. And we're going to continue to look at further on to separating that group from APD altogether to make them a civilian division of E911, get them a commissioner the way it should be to answer directly to the mayor. And so we still got some work to do with that, but that's the biggest piece. So clap one more time for that. I like that. So now all of the other departments and finance, Parks and Rec starting to pick up. Yeah. I got some calls. They even looked on the website. And people forgive us. We're going to update our website a little bit better. We're going to get that together. But they look for us because another organization, this is huge too, y'all. Another organization, not calling their name, but another organization told an employee that's been a member with them for many, many years that they couldn't represent them because they got promoted from a grade 18 to a grade 19. Now, we don't do that. We still got grade people. If you're taking your dues, we're going to represent you the best to our ability. They wouldn't, but he didn't have an issue. It just came about, they had conversation. And when he went to that person that was running that local, was told, oh, we can't represent you. So he had to get out. And so he was very upset, but he was trying to locate me. Somebody else said, you should have never been there. No way. You should have always been with PACE. PACE the best. So he called to Quincy got the call, and Quincy called us back, say a member was trying to get in touch with you. He was serious. So our regional director called me and said, here's the number to the person. Do you want me to call or you call? I said, I'll call. So I called the person and explained. And he told me, yeah, I really wanted to get in. And I was going by all means. And people kept telling me, reach out to Gina Pagnotta. Reach out to Gina Pagnotta. But for some reason, I didn't know how to find you. So I went on the website for PACE. And I saw Quincy. And that's how I got to them. And Quincy called down here to us. So now, not only is he joining, but he's got about 5 or 6 or some more people. He spread the word, and he said he wants to be a steward.
Even better. Even better.
So
see
we're
what
going to
happens
talk
when
about
you work together.
Yes.
Now, remember when
that?
I told you this is an energy rod. When we work together in closing gaps,
Okay.
it's a connection.
Okay.
It's a transfer of energy from one end to the other. But it doesn't work. Nothing is happening here.
Right.
Nothing.
Okay.
Because no connections are made.
Because you're aesthetic. Go ahead.
No connections have yet been made.
Okay.
But when you start making connections and closing gaps, you touch this, touch that. Now we touch hands because we are agreeing. You're so sick. I'm done with you. I'm done. But you see how it works.
Yeah.
So do it again. It doesn't work like that. It has to be a full circle, a complete connection, right?
Okay.
We're not holding hands.
So it's not working.
It's not working. But when we able to close gaps, she just can't be serious for 5 seconds.
I'm serious. It's
so
now
let that go. Again,
okay.
It's not working.
But you're bed to hip. And see, that's like right in reality. Because when you're holding hands, okay, let's do it again. Let me show you my take on this. So we're together as a group, right?
We are together.
Okay. So we turn loose hands, but you still got that main piece, that root.
But
guess what? It don't work. You know why? Because you could have some enemies in your camp.
Yep. It doesn't work. You have to be all connected.
And when you're not connected, it don't work.
Nope.
You understand my aesthetically trying to...
The aesthetics of the situation.
The aesthetics of the situation that I'm trying to portray. That you can have people in your camp that's not for you.
You can.
And so that, once if you're not all together, it doesn't work.
Yep. Coming to work is one thing. That's the main piece. Mm-hmm. What do you do when you come to work? Do you actually do the work?
You teamwork.
If you don't do that, then it doesn't light up. But when you all working together, coming to work, being a part of what you're supposed to be doing, then it will work. That's just
let's give kudos to Ebony, Miss Science. She's aesthetically inclined to stuff. Gosh. But anyway, and another piece that we're working on is the evaluation, performance appraisals.
Yes.
Do you all out there think that we need performance evaluations?
Because I read somewhere where they were saying they were doing away with the evaluations and the on paper evaluations, but they would bring the employees in to have a discussion with them and to see, how do you think you've done this past year? And then you will more than likely will be honest. If you've been playing around.
I'm always giving myself highly effective.
There you go. There you go.
If not outstanding.
There you go. And also, I can have a conversation. We can have a good conversation, a dialogue, not a monologue,
right,
but a dialogue as to what are your strengths. And hopefully, if I've been the right or the good supervisor that I should be, or effective supervisor, I should have been paying attention to you throughout that whole 6 months or 1 year for your eval to say that I've noticed some things that you've been doing extra, right? I noticed that you're an excellent writer. Well, have you ever thought about doing X, Y, and Z? And now those things is kind of bringing out other things in you so you don't get stagnated in your position and bored doing the same mundane things every day, but have something else to do. And you also helping the company. The company is helping you and you're helping the company.
But the problem with evaluations is they're not written right.
No, they are not.
They're not written right. And there is a process, and we're going to do that. Councilman Howard Shook asked PACE to come up with a suggestion of a process and a good evaluation. Mm-hmm. And we are working on that now. And we also got the MOU. So as soon as we get this MOU out, that the mayor would like to have on his desk within the first week. We're going to be working on the evaluation. Here's my take on the appraisal evaluation. Every year, there should be a deadline date to start. If it's July 1, you got that 1 week from July 1 to, 1 week to do your commitment setting. Your commitment setting is bringing that person in, and you and that person have a dialogue, not a monologue, on what kind of work is expected. Now, your job duties, what we call critical elements, should be in line and mirrored to your job description. That's one of the problems that we have in the city, a big problem. You should be evaluated on what your job duties require you to do, what you're paid to do when you were hired. And every time it changes or gets added or some taken away, that commitment setting needs to come back to the table and reevaluate. Now, here's the piece where a lot of people don't like, why I say HR needs to be the originator of these evaluations, because you have classifications. And when these classifications are posted, they're pretty much the same. An administrative assistant is an administrative assistant, no matter where you're at. The only thing that's different might be certain things element to that duty of that job spec. Now, on your critical element, those are what you should be judged on what you're doing. And it should have a measurable goal for each one. Like, for instance, if I have a service level agreement, how many times I got to give parts out without failure, I should be able to do this. And 5 times if I make a mistake, then that would be less effective. If I make 0, that's high, that's outstanding. If I make 1 error to 3 errors in a year, that's effective, and 4 or whatever, highly effective. You get my point? It should be able to measure. So I keep up with my documentation, and at the 6-month review that you should have, at that 6-month review, you should always allow the employee to do their own evaluation about themselves. And then you come behind them and give them what you think. Because again, now, if you don't have measurable goals where you can, a person know where I fail and where I won't, it's a personal evaluation. Is what I feel you didn't do, or what I think you didn't do. So all that got to change. And all of these people need to have measure. You should not put a critical job element on an evaluation unless you got measurable goal settings. So I'll know I can't make another error on this thing anymore. I don't reach my limit out. And at 5, I'm doing bad. So at 6 months, when we sit down and talk about, you done made 5 errors with your goal. So how can I help you so you can improve by the year evaluation? That's what's missing.
You should. And we don't, I know in a lot of departments, they don't do those conversations. We don't have those conversations. But what I've done was I have 7 people that I supervise. And so I've created classes for the year because we do have to keep certifications. But these classes are outside of the regular certifications you should get. And I printed them off a whole little list. I give them a year. And I say, hey, it's up to you to do it. I'm not going to make you do it, but it looks good. If you want to continue a career in whatever job duty that you're doing, then I think you should be well versed in everything in that. So I gave them all, wrote it down. And so when they check it off, or if they check it off, hey, this is what you do. One of the employees is like, oh yeah, that's going to keep me on doing something. And every time we meet monthly, I try to keep up. Hey, you've been taking any of those classes? Right. Do we need to write them off? Let's check them off.
That's good leadership, though.
You have to.
And I have a problem, me personally, with time and attendance being on evaluation. I do.
Why do you?
Because
why do y'all think she has a problem with time being on attendance? Somebody please put in there. Why do you think Gina have a problem with time being on attendance? Being on there. You barely make the show at 1 o'clock.
But I be on time in my job. Because I have control of this.
Good. Oh, okay.
We have control.
Okay, so not the job. Okay.
But when I'm working for somebody else, I'm not in control, so I have to do what I need to do.
Okay.
And I'm going to do what I need to do.
Okay.
And if I don't, I'm going to take that accountability.
Good.
Because I'm going to tell you on the interview one time I went to Georgia
I was
Power.
going to say, please tell that interview.
I went on an interview. The man told me I had a great interview. Georgia Power, y'all. And back then in the day, working for Georgia Power was the bomb. I was with Georgia Power, got that interview. So the man that, after got through, he was trying to be all hard and stuff. He's, being stuffy. And he said, okay. And he told me, you have any questions? I said, yes. I said, what are your pet peeves? You asked me all these questions. What's your pet peeve for your employee? Well, I'm a stickler for time. And if you're not here, and you're supposed to be here at 8 o'clock, and you're here at 8:01, we have a problem. I looked at him. I said, well, guess this interview is ended because I ain't the one you need. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it might be some times I ain't going to be here at 8 o'clock on the dot. I said, so I've been nice knowing you. Thank you for the interview. He looked at me. I stood up to shake his hand. He looked at me. He said, he bust out laughing. He said, you know what? You got the job because you showing me trust, integrity, and I like that, and honesty. He said, we'll work on that time. I said, all right, but don't forget that. I told you for your eye. We had a great working relationship. I was late a few times. Now, yeah, he called me on the carpet, but I wound up getting highly effective. Good. And working for Georgia Power is how I would get there. But I'm honest. So what I'm saying is the reason I say time and attendance should not be part of and weighing a lot on your evaluation is because we're talking about your performance. Yeah. Tardiness and attendance has a disciplinary, that's not showing production. Exactly. That's showing a code of conduct or ethics. You're supposed to be at work. We're rating you on what you do while you're here. And some people say, well, that means that you ain't doing your job if you're not here. That's not, because what if you've been out 6 months on FMLA? Mm-hmm. And you got to have an evaluation. Let's rate on what you've done while you were here. Mm-hmm. Now, if you got an attendance and tardiness problem, that's a disciplinary action. That's a discipline. Because you're not fulfilling your contract of reporting to work. We're not talking about that in an evaluation of what you do. So we're going to PACE is going to come up with we're going to look around, we're going to look and investigate other areas that do evaluations, look at some. We're going to create one, a sample, send it to Councilman Howard Should, get it to Mr. Norman, let them look at it. But we do want the originator to come from DHR. DHR with the department heads need to take the helm and create and write up these evaluations, not just the supervisor. Everybody you can have a evaluation different from mine, and we're doing the same job. Yep. So then they're going to evaluate me on just how I feel about you.
I'm still not happy about my evaluation.
And we need an evaluation review board. Mm-hmm. If you disagree with your evaluation, then you should be able to submit it with a rebuttal and present your evidence.
Instead of giving it to the manager and letting them figure it out, or either you just don't hear
it don't go nowhere. No, and you can't, and according to the legislation, you can't grieve an evaluation. Yeah. So some things got to change, and you guys, PACE is on it. We're working on it, doggone it. Don't forget, next week, we're going to be talking about more of the mental health. Anything you want us to chat about, email us, call us, chat it in. Hope that, we bring to you what the good that we can bring to you, the information that we can bring to you, and the good fight that we bring to you. So I'd like to give one more shout out, kudos to Jeff Norman and his team for this paper. Finally, we're getting some resolve and some results. And we're hoping that you also want to throw out there, go to Amazon.com, Miss Ebony Walton's book called Beautiful Music. Please go and buy one. Give her some,
If you like to read, if you like little steamy stories.
How old is this book?
2011.
See how long ago she wrote it? So it's not like she just wrote it. But all these years, I didn't know until last year during pandemic. She gave me this book. I'm not a really avid reader. It's really not a lot. But I read it in one setting, didn't I? And I called Abby. I said, I am pissed. Where is part 2? I got to know what happened. What happened? I mean, it's a great book. So As we bring today's show to an end, do we have anything in the chat?
No.
We get everything. As we bring today's show to an end, there you go. We anticipate that we have been a beacon of hope to some, entertaining, whack, whack, and have been able to shed some light on all things in the city to you that are listening. We thank you for tuning in to Radio Connections with Pace, where it all comes together. Thanking Spencer Croft, as always, our producer, to come on with his tidbits of the week. And tune in next week as we will continue to bring the good fight and be a part of bringing the good back to the city. You are welcome to share this episode to the city of Atlanta. And if you don't move one more time, you are welcome to share this episode with the city. And if you are not a subscriber, what you waiting for? Go on and click that bell and do what you do.
Don't be left in the dark, y'all. Join Radio Connections with Pace again, where it all comes together. Stay up to date on all city news. If you are not a member of this elite organization, PACE, Professional Association for City Employees.
She lied. Oh my God.
You're holding it because there's no circle. You're the circle by yourself. Remember, you can send an application. I'm done with it. You can send an application. Member dues are $16. Again, it's the best $16 you're going to spend. And those of you that don't think that you don't need to be a part of this union, you do.
So I can do this. I'm a team by myself.
You're a team by yourself. Only when you're doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
But when you ask somebody else, you're going to need them on it.
I always need you.
So please, we thank you guys. Spencer, thank you.
As always.
Thank you.
Thank you for our listeners.
For adding to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And all the chatter-ins, we appreciate it. This is what makes us thrive to bring more and be livid and let you know that none of this is monologue. We just dialoguing.
Dialogue.
And this is not, what you call it? Set. We just going off the hip, you know. What's that word? Aesthetically now.
This is not scripted. This is
not scripted at all.
As you can see, it's never scripted.
I can't stay on no script.
It won't work. It won't work. So until next time, you guys, we see you.
Quack, quack.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Radio Connections with
Time to take my
medication.
medication. I'll talk to y'all next week. Be safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands.